Hello, welcome to week 1 of Get Out, Get Active 2022. I'm Dave, I'm joined by Adam. Today we're going to take you through your exercises and how to do them. We won't be doing the full workout with you, just demonstrating in case you're unclear on what an exercise is. So we're going to start with our bodyweight squat. So I'm going to get Adam to line up with the box here. His feet are about hip shoulder width apart, pointed slightly forward or out. And he's going to shift his hips back. We have a box here. You don't need to have a box. You could have a chair at home, or you could just be doing your bodyweight squat. So Adam's going to do a few reps here, and then we're going to turn and show you the side here, what that looks like. So Adam's also bringing his arms out, and that's to counterbalance. So from the side here, you can see how Adam shifts his weight back into his hips. His feet stay on the ground, his chest stays lifted, he has a nice tall spine. If you wanted to make this a little bit more advanced, you could be holding a weight, but we just have body weight here. So we are going to move on to our bent over dumbbell row. So we have our weights here, whatever weight is appropriate for you. It should be light to medium, it shouldn't feel too heavy. Adam's going to hinge at the hips, lowering the weights to the outside of his knees. As you can see, he's got this nice straight back. He's going to drive his elbows past his body, bringing the weight to the sides of his ribs and back to the starting position, which is just in front of the knees there. We want to keep the weight close to the body so that we're not arching at the top of our spine. And as you can see, Adam's cervical spine, which is his neck, is also in line with his T-spine. So a nice straight line all the way through. So that is your first superset. You would do one exercise followed by the other with no break in between. Our second group, we have our reverse lunge and push-up. So from a standing position, Adam is going to take an exaggerated step back. He's going to allow his trail leg, the knee, to drop to the ground while keeping the weight in the front leg. Chest stays lifted, nice tall spine and up. And then we're going to alternate sides. As you can see here, Adam's just allowing that knee to float before it's touching the ground here, and that's going to keep tension on the front leg. And then we'll just get Adam to turn and face the camera so he can show you what this looks like from the front. And you can see how his knee stays pointed forward and in line with his toe. So that is our reverse lunge. We're going to move on to the push-up. So you need a mat for this, or you could be using your chair or your box to do an incline push-up. We're going to show you both a regular full push-up and modified two ways. So for the full push-up, Adam's hands are under his slightly outside of his shoulders. He's in this high plank position, nice straight line, and then he's going to slowly lower his body as far as he can through his range of motion, pushing all the way up. So notice how he keeps this nice straight line all the way through, and he goes through his full range of motion, which is really good, all the way to the floor, all the way up. If you're unable to do full range of motion, we're going to go modified to the knees. So Adam's keeping his legs elevated, so his pivot point is his knees as he slowly lowers his body and pushes himself back up. Notice how he keeps that straight line even though we're doing this modified position. He's still able to have that nice, strong core keeping his back in that straight line. So the other way that you can do modified is you can use your chair, you can use a wall, you can use a bench to do an incline push-up. So the same principles apply where Adam's set up in this high plank position just on an incline, and he's going to lower his body, keeping his core engaged, his back straight, and moving through the full range of motion. He touches his chest down to the box and he fully locks out. So this is a great way where you can still work the core muscles used in a push-up if you're unable to support your full body weight load. So that is your second superset. Again, reverse lunge into the push-up. Next, we have an EQ bar here. You could just be using a chair at home, right? It's just something to support you through this single leg supported Romanian deadlift. So Adam has his left hand on the bar. He's going to allow his left leg to kick back and slowly stand up. So as you can see with Adam, his leg is in line with his spine. And if he wanted to get some more range of motion with this, he could kick his leg further up, becoming more parallel with the ground. Perfect. And we'll turn the EQ bar so you can see what this looks like from the front. So you can see how Adam's all lined up here. And if it's more comfortable for you to kick the other leg out while you have this supported, you can do that as well. Just find out what works best for you. I would say this version is slightly easier than the other. But the important thing is that we keep that nice straight spine and we move through our comfortable range of motion. So our second exercise in the third superset is our standing shoulder dumbbell press. So Adam is standing comfortably with his feet hip width apart, nice and tall. He's going to bring the weight up to his shoulders. Palms are facing away from him. He's going to push the weight up and slowly bring it back down to his starting position. Now you'll notice he's keeping tension by just coming back down to that 90 degrees. That's your best bet for reducing your risk of injury as well. I'm going to get Adam to turn to the side here. Now, if you get to the point where you find yourself leaning back, what I'm going to get you to do is take a staggered step. So I'm going to get Adam to take a step back with either whatever foot is comfortable for him, and that's going to widen his base of support, taking any extra load off the spine. And again, for this, you might have heavier weights for your dumbbell bent over row than you do your shoulder press. If you don't have access to that, that's okay. You can use the similar weights, but you're probably going to be able to row more than you can shoulder press. So our last exercise is not a superset at all. It is a core exercise. Adam's going to lie on his back on the mat. His starting position is his feet are comfortable. Now his arms are stacked over his shoulders, so it's shoulders, elbows, wrist. Legs are bent in a 90-90 position, 90 degrees at the hip, 90 degrees at the knee. Adam's going to extend opposite arm, opposite leg, as far as he comfortably can without touching the ground, and back to starting position. Now it's important that you move through a comfortable range of motion so that you're not overextending yourself, recruiting muscles that you shouldn't be using, like in the back, and that we maintain that tension by not touching the floor. Because as soon as you touch the floor, we've taken the tension out of the core, we've given ourselves a break. We want to make sure the core is working the whole time. If you need a modification for this, the range of motion isn't enough for reduction, what we can do is we can really bend these legs down, and we can extend and touch the heel to the ground, extending the arm through the same range of motion. And essentially what you're doing there is a single side reverse crunch with that extension of the arm overhead. So those are your 4 groups of exercise. I'll allow Adam to stop. As always, if you have any questions, comments, concerns about the exercises or how to do them, feel free to leave a comment, reach out to Adriana, reach out to us, use the shared inbox, and we'd be happy to address those concerns. But thanks for watching, and we'll see you next week.